Most people lose their rhythm as soon as they travel for work. Like you get on the plane or train or in the car, you end up in a new hotel, you have long meetings, late dinners, and all of a sudden, 3, 4 days have passed and you haven't trained once. You're feeling more mentally drained than ever, more tired than ever. And during my last prep, I traveled almost every other week, 2 nights, usually 3 days in total. And I learned early on that I need a system to make this work. So in this video, I will talk you through how I structure my travel weeks and what my priorities were when the days before travel and after travel, but also during the day. So let's dive in. And the hardest part about travel is that it changes everything. Your schedules, your stress, your meals, and your routine. And most people try to copy their normal lives and try to fit that into a travel week. And most other cases, it's not possible. You have different hours, different facilities, you have different energy levels. So instead of trying to stick to your normal plan, you need to have some form of work travel plan to put into place when you know you have a work travel. And this plan is there to help you stay consistent even when you're traveling, so you're not falling behind. During my prep, I typically were away for 2 nights. That gives me 3 days and 4 training windows. The first night, and then morning and night day 2, and then a morning window on day 3. And for me, that was it. 4 sessions, very simple to plan, and just because I have 4 windows doesn't mean I train all 4 windows. So I try to stick to 3 sessions during my prep, and that seemed to do the job just fine. When I travel, the goal is not to get fitter, it's to stick to the momentum, to keep the momentum going. And you don't need to chase the intensity or the volume. What you should focus on is to chase the rhythm, to keep showing up, to keep the momentum going. During my travel days, I kept the intensity of the workouts pretty low. And this helped me to stay consistent throughout those travel days. And one thing that helped a lot with doing this by lowering the intensity on the volume throughout those travel days is that when I got home, my body was not out of balance. Like you've still trained, you've still kept the momentum going. So when you jump on to the bigger sessions when you get home, it do not feel unusual. It feels right away. And one thing that you can take with you for the travel days is not that you need the perfection. You just need the continuity during those days to stick to the momentum, to show up and do the work, because the whole point of this is to keep showing up over such a long period. That's when you improve. And you have put yourself in a situation where you have a long preparation towards this. And the goal is to stick to it. And those 4 windows I talked about earlier. You have the first night, and the second day you have 2 windows, in the morning and the evening, and then the last day you have the morning if you're gone for 2 nights, right? And you can structure those a bit differently. Like let's say the first evening, I would suggest you do a light zone 2 work, like maybe a light jog or a 30-40 minute spin on the hotel gym bike, just to keep the legs going, nothing crazy, low intensity. You should be able to speak because you have a long day, you have a travel day in the legs as well. So to spin out the legs and your body a bit in the evening is very, very useful and helps you to rewind before bedtime, because important during these travel days is to keep the sleep quality very high, not necessarily the volume, the amount of hours, but to get as good quality as possible. So first night, I really suggest a very light zone 2 session. Could be a run, could be on the bike, it could be on the rowing machine, whatever you have available, right? It could be a brisk walk as well. It's very useful. And for day 2, you have 2 windows. And I don't say that you have to plan a workout for both of the windows. I kind of suggest you at least plan for one of them, and then you leave the other one open for maybe a walk or just some downtime, recovery time, light mobility work. But once again, keep the one of the sessions to a light zone 2 work and maybe some mobility work or light strength session if you have a hotel gym. if you're not having a hotel gym, most of the hotels they have that, but if not, do some form of light mobility body work on your room. You could do loads of push-ups, air squats, and you can just easily Google something on Google or YouTube, a home full body workout circuit, you know. So try to stick to something relatively easy anyway, because you have had a long day again, and to get something through your body is very good. Last morning, sometimes I planned it free with nothing. Sometimes I planned it with some light zone to work. Mostly I went out for an easy jog to get that morning air in to set the day. And you know, if you start the day with a workout, you really set the tone for the day. So something lightweight again, because most of you have a long day ahead with traveling back home. So that's the four windows. Like first day, highly suggest doing some form of light zone 2 work. Day 2, some zone 2 work again, some strength work, mobility work. Day 3, also some light training work. And one key thing I want to bring up here is also the day after travel. So when you've got home and the day afterwards, keep that one simple, lightweight, low volume, low intensity as well. Because we learned that quite early on in my prep that we typically had some form of bigger bike session, and yeah, I couldn't do that because I was feeling too tired, too fatigued from the traveling days, because the traveling days they take more energy than you think they would. So and also stick to a light day after travel day as well, and that is enough to stay consistent and keep the momentum going. You don't need more than that, and you don't need to be stressed about not doing your intensity work or the VO2 max intervals or whatever it could be. Like that will get you a long way and probably be a lot better for you than stressing in a high interval training threshold run or whatever it could be on your travel days. And the reason most people fail during travel weeks is that they overcomplicate things. They overpack, they overplan, they overthink, and end up maybe doing nothing of it. I try to keep it very simple, always bring the same kit, you know, running shoes, some running clothes, and I can have the same clothes in the indoor gym. I bring some resistant bands to get some blood flowing in the hotel room if I want to do something quick, because you can do some form of land swim drills with elastic bands and stuff like that. And with that setup, I can basically train anywhere I want. And I've always Googled before if the hotel has a gym and what type of equipment they have. If there's no picture of the gym, but it says they have a gym, call them and ask if they have an indoor treadmill or anything. You can just pack for indoor workouts, and having just a short and t-shirt and your shoes won't take that much place in your luggage. So there's no really excuse there to not pack your workout clothes, because it doesn't take a lot of room. And one more thing about the packing and stuff like that around the travel is not to just focus on the gear, but also about like recovery and the nutrition part of it. Because I bring electrolytes, I bring my protein powder, and I bring all my supplements as well, because I want to try to stick to my routine to the best of my abilities. And that is one thing I can control. If I bring my nutrition, I will take on the nutrition I need, and I know my body is fully fueled. And I plan my dinner and meals to the best of my abilities. I try to eat as clean as possible. And even though you stay at a hotel, it's very tempting to eat a big breakfast every morning. But I try to stick to the same breakfast as I eat at home. And it's typically eggs, some form of bread, and some, in Sweden, we have protein yogurt. So I typically eat that and my morning coffee. And then I'm all set, some fruit maybe. But it's very tempting to go for, you know, the pancakes and all the other pastries and stuff like that. And to sum like the travel days up, I would say that training on the road is not about chasing the numbers specifically. It's to keep the momentum going, to keep your blood flowing, and when you get back home, you can just jump on your normal training plan again and keep pushing forward. Like it gives your body time to recover from all the training load you've had previously, and gives your body time to also rebuild itself and to turn all your training into fitness. So instead of seeing travel as some form of setback, try to see it as a built-in deload week to recover and get back strong. You know, the travel weeks, they simplify your training plan and they kind of force some recovery from training onto you. So you have to reframe the whole travel part of it. See it as a good thing and something that will be very beneficial for your preparation. And of course, you cannot control every detail of it, but what you can control is the approach, like how you approach those travel weeks. If you see them as a built-in deload week instead of a setback, you will get much further and you will have a much better week and you will have a much better preparation for your Ironman. And that's what matters. Like being a corporate athlete is all about being as good as you can in all areas of your life. And if you're training for an Ironman or maybe thinking about training for an Ironman in combination with your full-time work and full-time life, and you know you need to build a system to actually make it work, I've actually gathered all my experience and knowledge from my last prep into a blueprint, and you can find that blueprint via the link down below. You will be asked to prompt your email address, but as soon as you submit that, you will receive an email with the blueprint to download. And inside, you will find a weekly rhythm, you will find guidelines for traveling, and other practical tools I found and used during my last prep and will use my coming prep, because on November 3rd, I will start my next preparation towards Ironman Copenhagen next summer. I will actually also do the half distance 7.3 in Mallorca. So if you're doing any of the two races, let me know in the comments down below and we can try to meet up on race day. But with that all said, find the blueprint via the link down below. If you have any questions regarding the blueprint, the topic of today's video, or anything else related to this, you can leave it in the comments down below or send me a DM on Instagram. That's totally fine as well. And then I hope I see you in the next one. So peace.